Welcome to another Straight Up Tuesday tip. I'm 𝗤𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗁, licensed agent with Second City Real Estate. With me, as always, is Mark Ainley, founder and owner of 𝗤𝘃𝗱𝗰𝗀𝗀. And with us again, Josh Steigelmann from State Farm Insurance. And today, we are going to be covering probably the biggest insurance question I think we get, which is, what is the difference between actual cash value versus replacement costs? So Josh, to lead us in, can you just give us a definition of each one and we'll take it from there?
I sure can, Tom. So the easiest way to describe the difference would be whether or not it has depreciation accounted for in it. So replacement cost is just that. What does it cost to replace what was damaged? So for instance, say you have a roof damage from hail and the roof costs $20,000. All that you're going to be responsible for is a deductible with a replacement cost policy. Actual cash value, they're going to say your roof was 15 years old on a 30-year roof. So therefore you get a 50% depreciation on that, which can really hit hard. So if you have a $20,000 roof with a 50% depreciation, that knocks out 10 grand right there, plus an additional $1,000 deductible on that. You're only going to get a check for $9,000 on a actual cash value policy.
Got it. Now I'm assuming replacement cost is going to be more expensive, especially in Chicago here. Like to replace a brick 3-unit building it's expensive. Like we don't make them that way anymore.
Yeah, it is an additional cost. It's something every single one of my customers, I tell them, you want replacement cost. You want replacement cost, because whenever they call me, if I have one of those actual cash value customers call me, hey, I got a claim. No one likes to hear, well, we're going to account for the fact that your roof was, like I said, 15 years old. You're going to get half of the money that it costs. No one likes to hear that. So it does cost a little bit more money, but at the end of the day, it's about protecting your investment.
Yep. So taking it one step further, then, if you have, let's go to the actual cash value, you have, in the insurer's mind, it's a depreciating asset. In reality, home prices tend to go up over time. They can go up and down, but over time. So the gap's actually getting larger.
Yeah.
Right? Your value of your house is increasing and it needs to be even more protected, and your insurance is going down.
Correct. Well, and even to one up that, the cost of materials and labor are greatly increased right now. We're actually seeing in the insurance industry right now, when we run an estimate on the house for the cost to rebuild the house from ground up, a lot of the times we're seeing that the actual cost is higher than the market value of the property. So even then, more so, replacement cost plays a huge factor, because the cost of material and labor is so much higher than it used to be.
So that means that probably something none of us listening here are planning for is that insurance will probably take a pretty large increase as well too in the next 18 months, as all these new policies renew, and now they're accounting for the additional charges based on inflation, cost, labor, all that stuff. So that's listeners, keep that in mind. That's something that you have to be running your pro forma on to have a 10% bump probably. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are seeing increases. Thankfully, the rates themselves are staying pretty relatively even, at least with my company, for the homeowners and for investment properties. But the actual coverage amount, we're seeing large increases because of that. So that's something I recommend sitting down, reviewing with your agent, going over the actual estimate of the house. It's something I do with my customers on a very frequent basis to make sure that if it needs to increase, it doesn't over increase, but also that it's insured properly at the right level.
I have listeners take this lesson from me. I've had some big total loss claims on buildings that I might only had $50,000 or $60,000 into it per unit after rehab, and I had it, 4 flat. I had it insured for $400,000 versus the reproduction, the rebuild, which would have been $800,000. So we made decisions across the entire portfolio to do it one way and to have reduced premiums, but ultimately on those payouts, I could have gotten a few $100,000 more on a couple different properties. So now I never measured that against additional premiums I would have paid over 10 years and all that stuff. But it's all math that you got to kind of think about. If you have 1 or 2 properties, the risk is much less. We had hundreds of properties that we were trying to self-insure some piece of it as well. So, but yeah, no, I have, when I say burned, I lost out on maybe opportunity, I guess.
besides price, is there any reason to go instead of replacement cost, going the actual cash value?
No, I mean, price is basically going to be the only thing. Save a few bucks to get actual cash value. That's the only thing that makes people want to go with it.
Got it. And our lenders even, I feel like some of my lenders even forced replacement costs. I go that route regardless, but I feel like a lot of lenders will dictate that. So you don't even
a
have
majority of lenders are going to require for whether it's your personal dwelling or an investment property, a lot of them are going to require replacement costs because they don't want to have a property not get fully rebuilt and then go defunct on them. So they're going to require that as a part of the loan. Not every single lender, but a majority of lenders out there. For sure, all the big name lenders that you deal with.
Cool. Mark, anything else?
That's it. Insurance is, I have one more question for you while we got you on here. Yeah. You have owner occupied policies, right? You have what we call landlord policies or rental policy. Is it a different policy than a landlord policy if you're a house hacker? Maybe you live 1 in 4 units. Is there like an in-between policy type?
Yeah. So I know something with my company that we offer. If it's a property that you actually reside at, it doesn't even have to be 52 weeks out of the year. It can be a secondary dwelling. You can write it as a homeowner's with additional tenants living in there. So then you get coverage for things like loss of rents, the actual liability for them, for all of your tenants. Like say someone of your tenants want to turn around and sue you for damages or negligence. But that's something where you are allowed to essentially do, it's a hybrid policy between the two and get coverage from everything.
Good to know. We have a lot of listeners who do that house hacking. That's a good little tip there. The tip within the tip.
Oh yeah. It's a great thing to do.
All right. We got a Chicago fact. Mark's been on fire lately. Let's see if we can keep it going.
All right. This one's going out to, listen, this is a really cool name. If it's real, it might be fake though. Buster Andrews.
Oh yeah.
Buster Andrews out of Pilsen. So I love it. So stage name or not, it's an awesome name.
And actually, if anyone's bored, go ahead and send us a few stage names. We'll use them.
Yep, for sure.
All right. So the Chicago Picasso, the one in the Daily Plaza, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
I know you're not Mr. Artsy, but the question is, where was that fabricated before being disassembled and relocated to Chicago? And your choices are, you were about to say something. You want to just go for it?
No, go on. Give me the choices.
So Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Barcelona, Spain, New York, Gary, Indiana.
Well, I know the elder Daly was big on getting that piece of art over into Chicago. And I thought it came from Italy, but I guess maybe Barcelona, Spain.
Josh, you want to take a shot at it?
Oh, I have no clue. I am not an artsy guy, but I'll give it a shot. Let's just go with New York.
Gary, Indiana, boys. Don't sleep on the Northwest Indiana.
Huh.
It's 1960s. The steel was booming there.
Oh, so I thought it was totally reproduced in Europe, or I thought it was made in Europe and then they rebuilt it here. I thought that was the whole thing.
Picasso did like a little sculpture, like what's that called? A model of it. And then they put it together and Gary disassembled it and brought it over.
Gotcha. Well, okay. If that makes a lot of sense then about the steel. So, all right.
And he also took no payment for that, by the way. He was offered and said, no, I wanted it to be free. So it was fundraised by like 3 different organizations and he took no payment on it.
Nice.
So next time your kids are climbing all over that, remember that.
You slide down it. Yep. Or next time you're at eviction court.
Yeah.
And you want to slide down it, but you're an adult now. All right, Josh, thanks for coming back here. Tom, thank you as always. Listeners, please refer us to a friend. You are probably one of many in your network of friends that are investing in real estate or considering investing in real estate for long-term wealth. Please share this with them, ask them to listen, or maybe there's a specific episode you can share with them to help hook them. And that's all you need to do. So Josh, thank you. Tom, thank you. And listeners, see you Thursday.
Awesome. Thanks all.